In the meantime, Donald Trump opening up in a highly revealing interview with Hollywood Reporter columnist Michael Wolff. Trump discussing the campaign, his growing fame, and whether or not he actually voted ever for Bill Clinton. And here's a big surprise. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel's brother, Ari Emanuel, has offered to take charge of a film celebrating Trump's campaign to be shown, apparently, at the Republican convention. Trump saying this: "He's a very good friend of mine. He calls me a lot. I call him a lot, and we talk. He's very political. Even though he's not political, he's political. He gets it." You're shocked to hear that, right? Meaning about the movie. But yeah, I might do something with Ari. Monica Crowley is online opinion editor for the Washington Times, Fox News contributor. Long article here.
Yeah.
When Trump was out in L.A., as he's preparing now for the primary there on June 7th. And, I mean, we've seen him be very open in interviews like this before, but some interesting nuggets that Ari Emanuel would produce this sort of film at the Republican convention. He's a Democrat, isn't he?
Donald Trump is a master of communications. He's constantly full of surprises, which is why he constantly dominates the news cycle. Now we have another interview that drops a little bomblets like this about Ari Emanuel, who is a little bomblets. He is a left-wing Hollywood heavyweight. His brother Rahm goes back to the Clintons, but of course served as President Obama's first chief of staff. He's now the mayor of Chicago. This is a family who's very political. Their other brother, by the way, Ezekiel, oversaw a lot of Obamacare. He's a medical doctor. So this is a family very steeped in left-wing politics, and the fact he's close to Donald Trump and would produce his convention film, I think will surprise a lot of people, but I also think it's indicative of the kind of realignments that Donald Trump is driving.
It's very interesting. Maybe if you're that much into show business, you see a good entertainer, you want to be a part of it somehow. He was also asked in this interview if he'll use a teleprompter for his acceptance speech at the convention. And here's what the writer says, almost sorrowfully. He says he probably will. "I find myself urging him not to, precisely for the theater of it all, the spontaneity. Who would want to miss that? Let Trump be Trump." What do you think?
For his acceptance speech, if he stood on that stage in front of the nation and the world and gave his acceptance speech without a teleprompter, it would be the greatest thing of all time for those of us who would just be absolutely riveted to him. I don't think he's going to take that risk. When it comes to big speeches like his major foreign policy speech of a couple of weeks ago, he did go on prompter. He does very well on a teleprompter. And as delicious as this might be, Gretchen, I think he's going to stick with a prompter.
Okay, real quickly, before I have to let you go, he was asked, did you ever vote for Bill Clinton? Let's see, did I ever... I don't want to say who I voted for.
Again, keeping people hanging. Look, in the past, he's been registered as a Democrat and as a Republican. We know he's donated to Democrats in the past. It wouldn't surprise me, but what jumped out to me was maybe that was a little subtle dig to the Bush family. President George H.W. Bush, who ran against him in '92.
All right, Monica, thanks for hanging out while we were dealing with a lot of breaking news today. Thanks much.
Sure.
And that's